We are finally able to access the Danny Trejo mission, the first free content drop outside of the Spec-Ops maps in Far Cry 6. And speaking of Spec-Ops maps, the final Malagua map is now also available, plus there's the weekly reset to cover, so a lot to talk about in this video. Joyce and I, Dennis, will be covering this update. Jordan is currently working hard on some Valhalla content, so that's why you might hear some unfamiliar voices in this video. But with that out of the way, let's give it to Joyce to catch you up to speed on the Danny and Danny versus everybody content that has been added.
Thanks Dennis! So the free special Danny Trejo mission has now officially launched in Far Cry 6. We could already play an early version of the content a while back when it was added to the game by accident and then got removed because it wasn't quite finished yet and the final reward for the completion of the mission was bugged. But now we can finally help Danny Trejo and get 2 special rewards, which I'll show you in a moment. For those of you who haven't heard of this content yet, when you boot up the game now, you're getting a call from Juan who tells you Danny Trejo is in the area and needs help. It's a special post-launch Yaren story and you can find the mission over here on the map on the Raid Al Diente Krog farm in Barrial. I won't spoil the story for you, but it's a pretty funny mission where he actually also shoots enemies with you and where the reward was bugged before. You now get at the end the keys to Danny's ride, the Can Grande bike with a minigun. And no, you won't have to ride the bike to a vehicle pickup point to claim it. It's being added to the vehicle list right away after you completed the mission, which is really nice. The design of the bike looks really cool with the flames and all, and the minigun is extremely powerful against vehicles, blowing them up quite fast, and also versus heavy armored enemies, for example, who are just walking around on the road. You have to practice your aim a bit though, but it's definitely handy. Also, funny detail is that your amigo Boom Boom can ride with you. The second reward you get after completing this mission is a recipe for Danny's tacos called Taco Trouble. This is a food buff you can activate when you have built the cantina in one of your camps by going to the construction desk. You need 1 piece of bass meat to purchase it and then you get 2 perks. Improved weapon damage to nearby enemies and to burning enemies. Now we didn't test this buff out a lot yet, but damage buffs in Far Cry 6 aren't that powerful in our opinion. 2 perks instead of 1 is of course a different story already, and if you play co-op and your teammate hasn't played the Danny mission yet, they can still get the buff by going to your cantina, so that is a nice touch. If we do find some huge differences after further testing, we will of course let you know.
And to accompany this mission we also have the Trejo bundle in the store, which comes with a weapon, a unique version of the Scorpion auto pistol, a full Danny Trejo gear set, which has a perk on the chest piece that I don't think we've seen before, and a taco truck and taco mirror prop for if you're hungry, I guess. Next to that there's also a bundle based on the popular series La Casa de Papel, which has the iconic mask and red suit, plus a unique version of the AKM, a heist truck and some pesos for you to proudly display on your car dashboard. And to round out the Trejo content we also have the new Spec-Ops map Malagua, in which we hunt down another bioweapon, but this time accompanied by, you've guessed it, Danny Trejo himself. Now according to the post-launch roadmap this will be the final Spec-Ops map release, and they've definitely decided to end on a bang because I think this has been the most enjoyable Spec-Ops map so far. Sure, it might not be the most visually unique one, but once you pick up the bomb you'll find that there are bombardments near your position, plus a lot more enemies to fight, at least on the route that we took. And on top of that, Danny had some pretty interesting lines of dialogue to share during the mission.
There's water around here somewhere. I have a unique ability to locate water without using any scientific instruments.
The music is also great on this one, so overall a really enjoyable final map. But there's even more to it, because there is of course the Camp Commander armor set that we've been getting pieces from for completing the Spec-Ops maps for the first time, so I thought we'd be getting the wristband to finish the set off. But instead we got something even better, the new Decontaminant Rifle. Now you can of course see that this is a variant of the M16A1 but with a black and red color scheme, which you can also choose to apply to the regular version. But as soon as you unlock this one, you're not gonna need the regular version anymore, because the Decontaminant is the superior variant in every way. It has the same amount and type of attachment slots and exactly the same stats, but 2 mod slots instead of 1 and an overclock mod, which also of course means that all the other mods on this gun are of the better Mark II variant. So in its base form it's the same as the M16, but with the overclock it starts dealing more damage and you can also put more and better mods on it. And can I just say, it's really nice to have an overclock weapon that's just a straight up improvement over over the regular variant again, because these have been kind of hit or miss in the past. And if you haven't used the regular version before, it's a great assault rifle for pretty much any situation. It works great with a silencer and scope in burst fire mode as a stealth weapon at pretty much any range, but it also does really well in combat with a compensator to eliminate the recoil. It's accurate and has a high rate of fire, and pretty much the only downside is the small clip size of only 20 bullets, but if you have the materials you can upgrade it to 30 with the extended mag mod. So overall this is just a great reward for the completion of the final Spec-Ops map.
Together with the release of the Danny Trejo content also arrived the Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon Classic Edition. With the Season Pass it is completely free and you can download it by going to the store, in my case the PlayStation Store, and if you don't own the Season Pass you can buy it as a standalone for $15. It is PlayStation 4 and Xbox One only, no native PS5 or Xbox Series XS edition yet, but you can play it of course via backwards compatibility. The game gets a bit of a power boost because of this, but it still plays in 30 FPS. However, story-wise, it's still the same crazy game with Rex Power Cult from 2013. So pick it up if you have a chance. And by the way, if you liked the video so far, then leaving a like on it would really support the channel, and subscribe for more Far Cry 6 videos if you haven't already.
And finally, we still have the regular weekly reset stuff that's been live since Tuesday, and there are some interesting things going on there as well. For starters, Lola is no longer selling a unique armor set every week, as this week is the first rerun of an older Lola armor set, the Breach and Clear one. We will cover the rerun items in a bit, but first let's talk about some more exciting new stuff. Because if you have the Moneda, you can get a new weapon at Lola that you can't get anywhere in the game yet. The Tactical LMG is part of the Covert Strike bundle in the store, but if we check the appearance menu we can see that it's supposed to be a unique version of the M249 LMG, which isn't in the game yet. So I would definitely recommend buying this, solely for the reason that this is the only way to get an M249 for free right now. And it's a pretty decent weapon too, with stats that are very similar to the MG21 from the base game, which means it's a faster firing LMG with a slightly smaller clip size at 80 bullets. I love using LMGs with a compensator as it makes the recoil a lot easier to manage, although you can of course run it with a silencer too, but I recommend mostly using this for if you want to go in guns blazing, as the weapon shines in close to mid-range firefights with lots of enemies in my opinion. Another new weapon this week is the Libertad Custom Compound Bow. I don't really get the point of this one to be honest, since it has no overclock mod, and even though it does have Mark II mods, the available selection of mods on a bow is pretty limited. It is of course a versatile weapon because of the many ammo types available, including the awesome EMP arrows, but I don't really see a good reason why you would use this one over the regular compound bow apart for this slightly better mod. Finally, another new item at Lola are the boots from the Covert Strike bundle, which make it so that you no longer trigger enemy proximity mines, which is not that exciting and also very situational. And then we also have some items that have already appeared at Lola, and there are some pretty good items to grab if you've missed them the first time around. The Libertad Custom AK-47 is a really solid assault rifle to get that's great in pretty much any situation, and there are some pretty good gear pieces on that Breach and Clear set we mentioned earlier if you missed out on that one the first time. If you like using SMGs or remote gadgets like C4, the pants and vest respectively give you bonus ammo for those. The killing an enemy with a gadget tags additional enemies on the headset is also great, but only if you don't have the Tagmaster cap yet, which has the same perk already. And finally, the gloves have the refill weapon magazine after takedown perk, which is really great to use in combination with the prisoner scarf, so you can initiate takedowns from the front. And if you're missing Moneda for any of these but have finished the game, you can of course complete the weekly Insurgency, which also rewards the unique Firecracker this week. This unique variant of the RPG-7 is mostly nice for the skin, which is now immediately available again thanks to last week's patch, but apart from that it's not much to write home about. Improved weapon damage to enemies below you and improved speed while aiming don't really do anything for the weapon, and to be completely honest, since I've upgraded my Pyrotechno, I haven't really looked at any launchers in general, as that resolver weapon is still easily the best way to take out any kind of vehicle. But yeah, that about covers it for the new content in Far Cry 6 this week. We hope you enjoyed the video, and we will of course keep you up to date on everything Far Cry 6 here, so subscribe to miss nothing, and if you want you can watch our previous video on last week's big update that added a lot of nice quality of life changes. For now, thanks so much for watching, and we will see you in the next one. Goodbye!